Hey guys, and welcome back. Deftspider here. So we're going to start a new game today called Mortal Online 2. Alright, so the first one's been out for a couple of years. The new one drops on January 25th. So there's going to be a massive reset. So if you're looking to get into this game, you want to try it out, right now is the time. They have a times 100 multiplier for all skills being learned for your professions and just for your basic skills. This game has, I forget how many, but hundreds and hundreds of skills. You cannot specialize in everything, so you're going to have to work with others if you want to be successful at this game. It is extremely PvP heavy. So if you leave the safe area, the starting zone, and go to your first city, and then you leave the city or the city does not have guards, it's not a guarded city, you will be getting attacked by the players. They will kill you to take your stuff, and you can do the same to them as well. So with that, let's go ahead and jump in. I'm not going to go super in depth on character creation right now. I will say the biggest things to know about this game if you're getting into it, there is no map on the main world map, but there is a player-driven one. I'll try to get the link posted below in the description for everybody. There's also a calculator where you can go and try to figure out the stats. We'll kind of briefly touch on those. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So we'll hit create once you get into the game. Alright, so you have multiple races here. So we've got the Ogmir, the Thursar, a human, an Alvaran. All races have specific traits and abilities to them. You can read through their descriptions. It'll give you clues to that. You can hover over all of these. These are their clades. And special abilities you lock as you skill up. Alright, so what we're going to make today is, I'm just going to make a good starter one. I got this from Wolfstein. If you look up any videos of Mortal Online 2, you'll see him. He does most of the build videos. I am not skilled enough to go over the builds right now. I'm still learning. So we're just going to make a decent starting one. This one will work for anybody who's trying to get started. You'll be able to use the strongest bows. You'll be able to carry a bunch of items. And you should be pretty tanky on the ground as well. So we're gonna make a male Ogmir. You can change it between male and female. Nudity is allowed in this game. I currently have it turned off due to purposes where you're not supposed to stream and show nudity on most sites. So we're going to keep it on. But yeah, it's full on nudity, guys. Alright, so we're going to make an Ogmir. You can change the way everything looks, and we'll go over that in just a second. So here on the left side, you can see our stats. And you're going to want to watch these as you adjust. And that's why I said you might want to go and find the calculator online for Mortal Online 2 characters. Alright, so we're going to hit next. From there, here's your bloodline. This decides what you look like, so you can mix and match traits here. We're going to go full Hugar because I like the way they look. And again, you can see some stats and things pop up and change. Alright, so from there, we're just going to go ahead and hit next. We could go ahead and adjust our attributes. We're not. First thing we're going to do is go to the next screen. And weight in this game is extremely important. It changes your stats by a lot. So you can be like super fat and overweight. You can be skinny. You can be bulging. There's a lot to go over on that. And like I said, I'll eventually try to get to more in-depth videos on that. But for right now, this is going to be how to start and what to do once you get started. How to get to a main city from Haven, which is the safe zone. And just basic controls. And then we'll go over other things too within the gameplay on the series. So if you subscribe to the channel or just subscribe to the playlist, I'm going to go over how to tame horses, how to find them, locations, and different materials. And as I learn things, I'll post the videos and keep them as short and to the point as I can. Alright, so from this screen, the only important thing here, like I said, is going to be your weight. We're going to be stout at 130%. What that's going to do, if I change it here, if you watch the stats on the left, say we go to 129, you'll see that stats are changing. So you go too fat, your stats change, and that's going to base what your build is going to be. That's why I said you want to find that calculator or just come into here and play around with it. Alright, so we're going to go for 130%. We're going to leave our skin tone like this. We're maxed out the crack size on our guy. You can change your position. We're going to add some hair to our guy, so if you hold the left mouse button down, you can kind of spin your character around to see how they're coming out. So let's go, we're just going to go for a little mohawk here. And then we're going to add a beard. Not that one. We're not doing the Abe Lincoln beard. So we've got this one and this one. We're going to go with just a nice clean one. You can add on more stuff. You can change the color with these keys here. So we can go to that, or I'm just going to keep mine black. You can change eye color. Let's go for like a silver. You can change decorations and add tattoos and things. I don't want any of those. The same thing with body decorations. You can make like gold. So when you're dead or something, you have no clothing that shows. We're going to keep that basic. Then we're going to go back to our attribute screen. So here on the attribute screen, we're going to go for age 30. And because I adjusted my weight, I have to adjust my points. We have 100 points here. That's going to be based off of races, weight, height, like your size here. Very important stat. So we're going to go ahead and bump that up to, I believe, 86. Then we're going to max out our strength. If you hold down the shift button, you'll allocate 10 points at a time. So we're going to max that out, because we're going to want to be able to use a bow. So if you want to be a ground fighter or use a bow, you're going to need a lot of strength. Next, we're going to want to put points into our constitution. And that's all the points we currently have available. So you'll see our stats went up over here. Looking pretty beefy. Alright, so from that, we'll move on to the next part, which is naming and going into the game. So we're just going to name our character, as always, Deftspider. You can choose a surname. Now, when you make your character name, the name that people will see in the game to mail you items, to add you to their friends list and stuff, will just be your first name, which I misspelled. Let's go ahead and fix that. So we're going to call ourselves Deftspider. A surname, I don't know, let's say YouTube. And then create. There's a character, then we're going to enter Haven. You can only have one character per account. If you want more, you'll have to make a separate Steam account and then make your new character. Alright guys, so we're finally into the game. Once you get in, it'll pop up with this basic tutorial. We'll kind of blast through this really quick. We're not going to read everything. You can on your own time if you want to. I'm not going to go over it all. Like I said, we're just going to cover the basics and getting started and move on from there. So this is just going to go over your basic controls. So we can just press W to continue through that. And we are currently located in Haven. So once we're into Haven, there's several things you're going to want to do. If you look in the top right of your screen, you're going to see basic combat, go to the training dummies, and basic crafting, find the crafting tables. These are going to be about the only quests you get. So we could go straight to those, but what we're going to do first is we're going to talk to people. So if we run around this little starting area, you'll see things like this guy. He's the combat tutor. So you can hit R, and you're going to want to watch the left side of my screen where the chat window is. So we're going to hit R to learn about combat. We'll just click through this. So we learned about the sword, dagger, and you'll see on the lower left of the screen it says skill has been learned. So we're going to click through all those. We're not using them all, but we're unlocking them. So we just unlocked all the weapons. We can do range, teach me about archery, tell me about the bows. We'll rapidly click through all that. You can do attacking, blocking and all that, but I don't think that's going to teach us any extra skills. So we stopped at spears. So we can do blocking because you can read a book on that. Control schemes. I want to learn about another subject. Health. Learn about another subject. Next page. Stamina. Movement stats. Previous page. That's everything he has to offer. We'll come up here to this guy. This is a crafting tutor. So we're going to hold R. Talk to him. Armor crafting. Click through those menus. Weapon crafting. Click through those menus again. And as you can see, we're still learning more skills. Alright, so we unlocked all of those. This guy's the anatomy tutor, so we're just going to hold R here. This is one of the ways you're going to heal, is a subset to anatomy. You can talk to this guy. He doesn't really do much but go over the basics of where do you begin and basic settings and attributes and skills. If you want to learn magic, here's your magic tutor. Alright, so again, if you're learning magic, it's important to talk to him. Then you're going to want to come to your magic vendor.
I have what you're looking for.
You're going to want to get some money built up, which we're going to go over shortly. And you're going to come here and buy a basic spell book. You're also going to need things like nitre, sulfur, ichor, calamine in order to cast spells. So you're going to need more money for that. Then here are other spells that you can add to your book. But most of these already come in the book. But that's going to be used for a skill called scribing, which we can get into that in a much later video because that's going to cost a lot of money to do. Then we have other vendors here. You don't really need to worry about them. Here's a butchery tutor. We'll talk to them. And then hit goodbye. The rest of these guys, as far as I know, are all vendors currently. Things are constantly changing as the game is being updated. Now here's a cooking tutor. And then the cooking vendor. So that should be all of the tutors that I know of right here at the starting zone. So what we're going to do is we can go to the training dummies. First things first though, you can hit C to look at your character. Let me drag this over here. So I hit C as in Charlie. It opens this screen. You have your character here. This is where you're going to want to keep up with stats. So as you see here, we have plus icons here. We want to gain more strength. Not sure if my strength's at 116. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be at 121. for the max. Oh, well, we'll get to that as we go over it. Maybe I missed something in my setting and setting up my character. Alright, so then we got dexterity, constitution, so strength is going to affect what weapons you can use, mostly bows and melee. Dexterity is going to be your movement speed, stamina, jump height, and weak spot. Weak spot is when you crit hit somebody. Constitution obviously is going to be your health, stamina, carry weight, armor weight. Your psych is going to increase your mana and resistance to magic. Intelligence it increases your mana, effectiveness with magic, and skill book training speed. Alright, then the rest of this is stuff we've already gone over. Now we can change these as we go. So we don't want intelligence, so we're going to change this little plus icon. You can change it to a negative sign. That's going to reduce your attributes here so that it frees up more. We currently have 132 available. So we're going to go ahead and just lock that and leave it as it is for now. We're going to lock psych because we don't need that. We're just going to focus on strength, dexterity, and constitution. They'll level up as we do actions. Now if we go to statistics over at the top here, you can see health reserves, mana reserves, stamina reserves. These are important. When you die, stay alive in the game, complete tasks, you're going to notice gray bars pop up here, or maybe your maximum health, maximum stamina, maximum mana are going down. It's because you need to eat food to get these up. But when you eat, you need to have hunger, which is right here. And you don't want to overeat or eat too much because you will gain weight. And then you can become fat. So... And to lose that is a whole thing. So right now you can see we're at weight 91 kilograms. We're currently overweight. So yeah, something I must have clicked too far when I was adjusting stats because we should not be overweight right now. Anyways, we can fix that later. Here you've got titles based on things you've done in the game. Then clade gifts are here. We currently have 10 clade points, and with these we can learn skills like support skills. So night vision to see further in the darkness. That's going to allow us to get plus 3 to our psych, striker plus 3 to our damage. And there's other things to do, like more skills in the axe skill, more hammer skills. Really good things about the augmere is you can get a 15% chance to resist knockdown. And the other ones we're going to be after would be strength. There's plus 2 to max dexterity. That's not bad either. We can eat more food before we get hungry or before we're full. And then here's one that we're going to want to go for immediately. It's going to be plus 3 to strength. So we can activate that one. Plus 2 to max strength. We can do rock solid, it's not bad either. Strong back to carry more weight. Plus 3 to constitution on robust. Reduce damage with stone skin. Plus 2 to constitution again right there. We can carry more armor with these two abilities. Or wear heavier armor. And we're currently out of points. We'll gain more experience as we go, which will unlock more of these points up to a total of 20. Now if we go back to our character, our strength is currently showing as 118. So when it's red like this, that means we're over our maximum strength. So we're going to put a minus here until we get it back down to 118. That's not red, it's just grayed out. That'll free up more attribute points, as I said, to go into our other skills. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to moving. So we can hold down the shift button to sprint. If you look at the top of the screen, there's a compass. And you see there's an icon currently flashing up there. It says find training dummies 100 and something meters away. So we're just going to head that in that direction. I know it's up here to go through the gate. Alright guys, so we made it to the training dummies that were shown on our compass. Now it's going to take us to a basic combat tutorial. So you can draw / sheath your weapon by pressing X as an X-ray. You can perform a quick strike with your weapon by pressing the left mouse button. Alright, so we'll hit X, it'll pull our sword out. Left mouse button will swing it. And our current quest, it says hit a training dummy 3 times. So you can just do 3 quick hits on it. Alright, so clicking to attack is fast but deals very low damage. In order to deal 100% damage, you need to charge your attack by holding down the left mouse button and releasing it after the circle in the middle of the screen has been filled. Alright, so if you watch the circle on my screen, it's hard to see. But if we look kind of to the side of the dummy, now if you go right and go left, you'll see little arrows pop up. And if you go up, you'll see an arrow pop up. Same thing for down. And that causes you to attack from different directions, which is what the tutorial is going over now. So to change your attack direction, move the mouse left, right, up, or down after holding down left mouse button. Alright, so he wants us to hit the training dummy with a right attack. So to do a right attack, you're going to go from the right side. The left attack is from the left. A high attack is by going up and then aiming at your target. And then they skip the medium attack, so that's weird, but we'll go over that in just a second. So to block is the right mouse button, and it works the same exact way. First things first though, if you wanted to do a stab attack, you'll go down with the mouse button, you'll see the bottom arrow pop up. You can hold Alt, and you can also perform a piercing attack or stab attack. Alright, so if we want to block right, we'll move our mouse right while holding the right mouse button, and you'll see the arrow pop up. That means we're blocking. Same thing for left. To block middle, you're going to go down, and that's going to block piercing attacks. And then you're going to block up by holding right mouse button and going up, and that's going to block high attacks. So now that we know our basics against the dummies, we need to fight something a little harder. So we'll press X to move on, and it wants us to go to the graveyard from here. So you'll see that blue lit up area, that's going to take us to the graveyard zone. It's also on the compass. So really quick, like I said, holding down shift is going to allow you to run. You'll see your stamina usage going down. If you press numlock, while not moving, you'll start to auto walk. You can hold shift while auto walking and run that way, and then release it as you need to. If you run into objects, fall off cliffs, well, if you fall off a cliff, you'll probably die based on the height of the cliff. You can drown in water, but you can also swim. You can level up your swimming to make it more proficient. You can jump using spacebar, which uses up a lot of your stamina. Blocking, attacking can use up stamina, especially if you don't have the proper weapon strength, which we can cover, I guess, really quick while we're walking. So if we look at our character here, again, that's Charlie to get to this screen. You can hover over the sword. You'll see we currently have a steel short sword, blade with heavy hilt. All that comes in effect later on when we get to crafting. But currently the thing here to make note of is the strength requirement. So we're going to stop right before we hit the blue zone because that's going to be the next tutorial phase. And the strength requirement for this sword is 20. Meaning if we did not have 20 or more strength, we would not be efficient with this sword, and it would take a lot of stamina to use it and not be as effective. Alright, so we're going to walk into this zone. Now it's going to say there are many ways to regain health. You can use potions, magic, bandages, but the most common way is to rest. Resting skill is used by pressing L. So we can go ahead and press L here to close this screen. You'll see this icon here called resting. We're just going to drag it over here. I like to keep mine on shift 5. Now all these are left over from my previous character. It just saved my hotkeys. We don't need those because that was for a magic user. These are for the mount. We'll get to those later. And then we'll get into skills here in just a second. Or actually we'll probably touch on skills on the next one because it's going to take a minute to explain. Alright, so currently it wants us to use our resting skill. So to do that, all you have to do is hold, since we put it on shift 5, we can just do shift 5 to do it, or you could have activated it from the other screen. It's easier to keep it to where you can just press a button to do it. Now we're currently resting. And the next part of the tutorial is it wants us to parry an attack. You need to block in the correct direction just before the attack hits you. After a parry, you can strike with a counter attack by left clicking with the mouse button. So let's go ahead and do a right mouse button. We're going to head over here to the graveyard because that's the only place for us to fight right now, besides animals and bandits, which we're not strong enough for. Press X to get our weapon out. If you don't want to use the sword, we can get some different weapons in a minute. First, we need to collect some items. Now, these are bags dropped by the mobs. Anything you kill, people, monsters, etc., they all drop these bags. Just hold R to loot them. And in this early game, you don't really want to loot the Walking Dead carcasses. They're pretty much useless. And then we'll run through here. There's a lot of people playing right now because it's prime time. So here's a fresh Walking Dead. Alright, so we can walk up to it. Here's a right attack. We hit it, they will attack you eventually. Now you see he's doing an upper attack, so we just blocked it by moving our sword up. Now that's a left attack, so block left. You'll see the sparks on the sword, and we just successfully blocked those attacks. A straightforward attack, that's a piercing attack, so you're going to block down. Upper attack. Alright, immediately go into an attack. It'll charge faster because you parried. It is a little glitchy sometimes, so you might miss it. And of course, this guy's going to jump on our mob while we're talking. So we'll just kill him. We'll loot the bag. We're going to take the head and the cup from coins. So we need to do that 2 more times because the quest wants us to block and then counter attack immediately. Alright, so here's this another one right here. We'll just come in with a right attack. Now if you aim for the head, you can do more damage. But we need to block and then attack. So he's doing a left attack. We're going to block left. And then immediately attack him. Go for the headshot. They'll go into this state when they're weakened. Just hit them one more time. You don't have to charge for that attack. That'll finish them off. Then we'll gather up the goods. And then let's go get this one down here, and that'll be the complete part of that quest. Now if you get too close, you'll hit with your hilt. So you need to get your distance right based on the weapon type that you're using. And then you see right there, we just leveled up our clade gifts to level 11. So if we want to place more points, we'll press C. Come over here to the far right to clade gifts, and then we can put more points into whatever we want to put points in. Right, from there it wants us to return to the campfire, so we can go ahead and do that. Okay, we're back here at the campfire, so we're in the next part of the quest. It wants us to hold R to open the vendor inventory and buy something from the vendor. So here's the vendor right here. We can just hold R.
See what I have for you.
We can right click and it's going to put what we can sell over there. We can't sell our map of Haven and we can't sell our material torch head, but we can sell these coins and these fresh walker heads. Accept that, we'll get 61 silver, 4 copper or cuprum coins,
Only the best.
and just hit accept. Now it wants us to collect 3 undead heads, and I'm going to go do that, and then we'll be right back. So we've gone ahead and collected our heads. As you can see right here, we're back at the vendor. We've got 42 heads. I want to get some extra just because we're going to need the money. Now it wants us to open our character window and inventory on an item to equip it. Close the character window and inventory. So pretty much come here to the vendor.
See what I have for you.
You're going to sell the heads you've collected. Go ahead and put those up. We'll get 8 gold, 40 silver, so hit accept. We can sell our copper. It's going to give us more silver. We can transfer our silver into gold also. Then from there, buy whatever weapon you plan to use in, so you can go ahead and skill that up. I'm not sure, what do we want to use this time? We could get an axe. That'd be something new for us. So yeah, we're gonna go with, we're gonna go with that steel bearded axe with a bent handle. So you just left click on it one time. It's gonna put it in here for buying. Then we're gonna buy a full set of armor. So we're gonna get the chest piece, a helmet, a right arm or left arm, I guess, the right arm and the legs. Right, and if you're using a one-handed weapon, you're also going to want to get a shield, but that'll be when we do the crafting tutorial part. So then we'll hit accept. It's going to cost us 1 gold.
Thank you. Welcome
Exit
back.
out of that. We can go to our character menu if we want to, or you can leave it closed and just right-click your item in the inventory. It'll equip it to your character. You'll see a little bar pop up a lot of times for loading. You'll see that we now have our armor piece on. Let's go ahead and put our helmet on. And then we'll equip both of our arms and our legs. And then we can equip the axe if that's what we plan to use. And our character is fully equipped. So now that that's done, it wants us to go to basic combat for the next part of the tutorial, which we'll go over on the next video, which we'll probably get through the basic combat and the basic crafting. Because we're getting kind of long into this one, and that's going to be it, just for getting a start on the game. So I hope this helps you guys out, and be sure to check out the next video and the playlist for Mortal Online 2. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. As always, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comments. I'll answer them or try to find the information for you. Thanks for watching.